What's going on, everybody? Welcome back to another show here on the O'Shea Dick Jackson channel. Happy Sunday to you brothers out there. I know that we had about 12 people that was waiting in the chat. Definitely glad that you guys are here. Come in here and like the video. Today we got a very, very special show, man. The brother's name is Professor Mgtow. You probably seen him a few times participating on the panels, maybe on one of the Rumbles or some of the panels I have throughout the week. And yesterday he had made a really good statements, some really good things. We had to do a show on this. This is a black male-centered show, podcast for our brothers out there, African-American men, brothers in the diaspora, Donnells, and black men need to cut down their expenses. So I want to welcome to some and introduce to others the Professor Mgtow channel. What's up, brother?
Hey, how you doing, my man? Thanks for having me on the show, brother.
Man, I appreciate you coming by, man. Sorry for having, when it was nigga right as late today, man. I'm trying to, white man was holding me back out here, brother. But go ahead and tell people, man, about the channel that you have. What brought you into this content creating space and stuff like that?
Well, my page is Professor Mgtow on YouTube, and on Instagram is Mr. Freeport. But you can also find about Professor Mgtow. But I'm a different type of Mgtow guy. I don't fly under the typical banner. I do believe in Mgtow for the average black man because to me it means no marriage and living by your own terms. So, but pretty much no marriage. So that's what I preach to the guys. But I also try to elevate guys and give them a deeper understanding, a deeper level of game, and just get our men to the highest level they can be, void of women and dealing with women. So, that's what I'm about. I just started my page maybe a couple of months ago, and, I just hit a K. So, guys are resonating with it.
Okay. And guys, man, make sure you subscribe to our brother, Professor Mgtow. I'll put the link. The link is in the description. But you was on the show last night. It was me, you, I believe it was Phil, formerly of the Advise Show, but now the African Diaspora channel. We had Ramil Amir. And you were talking about brothers basically spending too much money just to impress chicks. I thought that was pretty insightful. Talk to us a little bit about that today.
Well, I guess it started with we were talking about how we need to build our community and this and that. And then, usually it comes back to finances because that's very important. But an issue we have with a lot of blacks is just the materialism and the short term trying to get instant gratification. And it plays out in so many different areas. What we were speaking about yesterday, I guess the idea for me stemmed from this documentary I saw on television years back. There was this white woman who had a Social Security. Huh?
No, go ahead. I'm sorry.
There was a white woman who had a Social Security of $700, and she was homeless in America for about 2 years, and staying from couch to couch and this and that. And then she finally said, you know what? Let me take my $700 Social Security, and let me go ahead and move to Ecuador. And then when she moved to Ecuador, they showed her a year later. She had a 2-story house sitting on an acre. She had her own chef. She had her own maid. She had a doctor come into the house. And her whole lifestyle had completely changed. So she went from being homeless in America based off her 700 Social Security to living a middle-class lifestyle, a very comfortable lifestyle in Ecuador. And that's what sort of got me introduced to the mindset of having to take what you got and make more of it. Because, in business, there's 2 ways you can improve in business. You can improve your profits, or you can cut losses and cut down on your expenses. You know what I'm saying? A lot of times people just aim for making more money, but they don't cut the fat where they can. And that's the first step that needs to be done. So I think black men in general, a lot of us have a lot of income, man. There's a lot of money made off blacks, but we have to really analyze how we're living, what we're living for, and come up with a plan that is better suited for us to get to where we need to go, because we have the resources now. We just spending it in what I call nigga economic ways.
What is nigga economic ways, brother? Go ahead and talk to us about what that is.
Nigga economics is pretty much the programming that you've been, the save last, keeping up with the Jones. It's pretty much the black version of keeping up with the Jones. If I give it the scenario the other day, man, when I went to purchase my car, I went with my homie, and we went to Georgia at an auction, and I brought me a Passat TDI. It's a diesel car. You get about 1,000 miles to a fill up. So it's a very great on the mileage. My homie went and brought an SRT8. I wanted the SRT8 as well, but when the salesman introduced me to this car, he said, you know, this is a very good car. You can save a lot of money. You can fill up for $30 to go 1,000 miles. I said, the hell with the SRT8, because this makes more sense. So
Mm-hmm.
I had to push my emotions to the side and say, what makes more sense? Spending your money like an old white person does. You know what I'm saying? And my homie, he went ahead and brought the SRT8, even though they had about 4 TDIs. I said, bro, get this car instead. It's going to save you money. And
Mm-hmm.
when we were driving back, it's about 7 hours back to Miami, I didn't have to stop at all. And he had to stop about 4 times and fill up about $100 damn near each time. And that was the first, that was the first lesson on niggonomics that I had to give this guy, because he had the opportunity
Right.
to make a better sell. You have to think smart. You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm.
Blacks tend to want to do things that make us look good on the external
Mm-hmm.
to fill up the voids internally. You know what I'm saying? We are very emotional people, and we care about what other people say, to the point that we'll go ahead and buy $500 shoes and foolishness like that. You know, the first thing a black man does, a black woman does, really, when she gets her degree, she gets her nice career, she goes out and buys a $40,000 Lexus. Like, you know what I'm saying? Why not just buy a cheap car that gets you around 2,000, 3,000 and save up till you can buy cash? You know what I'm saying?
Mm-hmm. Mm-hmm. Let me ask you this. Now you make a lot of great points. Why don't you think, because basically in the manosphere I deal with a lot of black male issues and brothers. Now let's talk about this car experience. We want to go back to that. You went to Georgia to buy a car. How much was this car going to cost initially?
This is a scandal car. I got a 2015 Passat TDI SEL. In the dealership, it costs about 38. I brought it at an auction for 13. The SRT8 was at an auction for about 15.
Okay. Why do you think brothers is so interested in basically buying more expensive stuff like the other car that your partner got? What was his buying motive in your opinion?
If you're gonna be real, man, like Chris Rock said years ago, if girls was fucking guys that were living in card boxes, every nigga would be living in a card box. It all comes down to the women, man. Guys are simping for the women, and if they're not simping for the women, they're just simping trying to look good for the white man, or society. But it comes down to the women, man. You're buying clothes for women. Yeah, I told my homegirl this today. I said, if you cut the penis off a man, you would see a major difference in how he thinks and acts, because when they're thinking about their penis, they're going out buying these expensive clothes for what? For women. They buy a brand new Mercedes for what? For women. It's not for you, man. It really isn't. If you're not thinking about sex, if you went celibate, you can't tell me that you would make the same purchases you do. When you got guys that are living, when we talk about the house situation, I tell guys, when you get into a career, let's say you graduate at 22, there is no shame in getting a roommate until you're 30, or staying in a room, renting a room out until you can save 20, 30, $40,000 and buy a property cash. You know
Mm-hmm.
what I'm saying? But
Mm-hmm.
we don't like to do that. We want to get out. If you got 4 brothers, 4 sisters, and 4 cousins, that's 12 different people graduating and buy their own home, rather than the Indian community, the Asian community, when they'll have multi-generations, the great-grandparents, grandparents, parents, kids, and grandkids in the same roof. And when one moves out, they buy cash. The next one moves out, they buy cash. They're not going to the banks for loans and mortgages to get home, unless it's for a business.
Mm-hmm. Now, it's funny. I actually was going to do a Hall of Game last week about brothers when they graduate college and when they start a business, should they move back in with their mother? It's interesting you said that, because I have a video on my channel, which I lived at home until I was 34. And when I graduated college, I could have went out. I was making $70,000 a year. I stayed at home with my parents and shit. But no, that's absolutely true, and it helped me tremendously to where I am now. Now I'm able to do anything I would like to do. Um, let me ask you this, because a lot of brothers feel like they have to have certain things in order to attract women. Um, can you get women living a minimalist lifestyle? Do you believe that's true, or what?
You can get a certain type of woman. You might not be able to run out and get a Britney bundle, a Britney Renner, or these high profile chicks. But where you're at right now, there's a woman who's at that same level. You know what I'm saying? This is what I tell guys. If you want to find a quality woman, just do what you do and live the lifestyle you live. I'm not going to go to a club to find a wife. If I like to go to the gun range or go to the motorcycle racing track, I'm expecting to find my wife there. She's going to be a chick that also likes to go to the gun range. If I see the girl at the gun range all the time, every week when I'm there, she's doing what I'm doing. If I'm living a minimalist life and I'm staying in, let's say, a tiny home community or RV community or a trailer home community, we cannot have too much pride to save money. That's the problem right there. We have way too much pride, and we look as if it's a shun to save money. Oh, I'm not going to stay in no tiny home, or I'm not going to stay with my parents. Like, guys, saving money is the key to actually being able to improve yourself. It's not about what you make. You can make $500,000 a year and you spending $450, you still going to be, you know what I'm saying, you living a broke lifestyle because you're not saving. But that's what it comes down to. Most guys are doing it for the women, man. And it's like, you don't have to do that. What you said, staying with the parents of 34, this is ideal. And this is what all the other communities are doing. My neighbor is a kid. He's 36 years old. He's in PA school right now. And he stays with his parents. They don't charge him anything. Why? He's paying for school. And when he's saving right now too. He said when he gets out, he'll buy a practice and a home by the time he's 38 and he moves out his parent home. He said he's not moving out until he can afford a practice, means real estate for his practice, and a home. And that makes sense to me. That makes sense, man. I commend you on that. And I think a lot of brothers should do that.
Let me ask you this. As far as a lot of brothers out there, a lot of people think that black men, they're cheap. Do you think that a lot of brothers spend a lot of money? If you could think of 5 things that black men waste their money on a lot, what would you say that those 5 things are?
We talking about professionals, Pookie Ray Rays, or both?
Both.
All right. Well, let's throw in the weed. Let's be very real. Niggas are spending, whether you're professional or not, or we can say alcohol as well. Some people got alcohol, some people got weed, hell, some people got cocaine. But you're spending $300 on these things. Clubbing. It's okay to not go out. Clothes. You know what I'm saying? This is another thing. And of course, child support. That's one of the main ones right there. I was about to forget. Child support is killing us. You know what I'm saying? Keep your dick in your pants. But the other things, you don't have to be going out clubbing all the time trying to impress women. You don't have to be buying drugs all the time, man. Go hit up the gym or something, get off some of these vices. And me personally, I used to buy an ounce of weed every week for years. You know what I'm saying? Now I had a good deal. So that was about, $200 a week for weed, fam. And I know guys out there was smoking just like me because they were going to the same place, getting their same little, you know what I'm saying? And that was just for the weed. That's not even the other stuff in the lifestyle. So we just got to cut back and on a lot of things, man. You know what I'm saying? We're not, obviously not the women. We don't have all the hair and issue and all that. But I think weed, going out clubbing, you know what I'm saying? Child support is a major killer, man. A major killer, guys. You might want to invest in the vasectomy. There's nothing wrong with that. You know what I'm saying? It's a lot of things that we can be doing to protect ourselves rather than just reacting when it happens. You have to put a plan towards it and say, okay, I know what's coming at the end of this game. So let me go ahead and be preventative. We have enough examples out here. You know what I'm saying?
Damn. So you spending $800 a month on weed, right?
Oh yeah. And trust me, man, there's people doing worse. If you got some guys that are, firefighters, that are, lawyers, nurses, they fuck with the cocaine. They don't so they spending even more. And these are professional brothers. You would never know. But if you know people in that arena, as they call it, then you're seeing who's coming in and out. You know what I'm saying? So let's be real about it. When it comes to liquor and drugs, things to make our mind escape, brothers are spending a lot on that.
Let me ask you, if you can go back in time and think about the money that you were spending, $800 a month. How long did you do that for? Like, how many years? Or
man, I was smoking blunts a day for about 5 years. Now I was getting to the money, so it wasn't really affecting my career or affecting my money like that. But just, even if I was making six figures, that's still a lot of money that can be going elsewhere. But I was smoking for about 5 years, man. Then I quit.
Okay.
And I quit because of the money. That was really the only thing. Like, man, this is a waste of money, man. That just I can be doing other stuff with this. If I'm investing $800 a month, how much is that in 10 years, 20 years? You know,
Right. No,
we go ahead.
no. What would you, thinking back now, if you could do it all over again, what would you have done?
If I can go back, well, let me give a bigger picture. If I can go back right now, I would invest in land. Like I told you yesterday, I know a family who invested in land, just strictly a flat piece of land, and then they turn it into a parking lot for events in the airport. So you make hella money like that just from having a little slab of land. What I would have done differently, I would have invested in me in other ways. Try to save up by now. 5 years at 800 a month, I could have a cheap place in Ghana. I could have some land in Ghana right now. I could probably, you can get an apartment in some cheaper South American places in Africa for $15,000, $20,000. I would have damn near had a good down payment on that. You know what I'm saying? I could have traveled more. $800 a month,
Mm-hmm.
that's a trip, bro.
Mm-hmm.
And we got brothers. You know what's funny? I went to Switzerland, right? And that was a couple of thousand for that trip. My homie came back with like, damn, man, you went to Switzerland, yo. I wish I can go there. But the same guy that week spent $2,000 on a paint job, and he blew $2,000 in a strip club. And that's another vice we got. You guys out there tricking. Tricking is a vice.
Talk. Oh my God. What they be tricking on, man? Talk about that.
Man, they be tricking on these hoes, man. They be tricking on hoes that don't love them, that don't really vibe with them, man. If you gotta pay for it, you know what I'm saying? It ain't for you. It's just not for you, man. You can get a woman that you don't have to deal with that from. Just be yourself, fam. And that type of woman is gonna gravitate to you. You know what I'm
Mm-hmm.
saying? Somewhere there's some broke redneck who's would walk around with a KKK sign, living in a trailer park, and he got two women that are loyal to him. You know what I'm saying? You got the dude that what was the dude, the black dude, the Carbon Nation guy? I can't remember his name.
Uh, yeah. What's the nigga's
You,
name, man?
you know, you know what I'm talking about, right?
Yeah. What's that dude's name, man? That dude that's over there in Costa Rica, whatever. Nature Boy.
Nature Boy. Yeah, Nature Boy ain't out there balling. But guess what? He's living according to his plan, and he got a bunch of women out there with him that's following his plan. So in every economic level, you could find a woman just being yourself. You got to be real, appraise yourself, and be yourself. Because at the end of the day, women want three things. You know what I'm saying? They want a man who knows who he is. They want a man that knows who she is, and a man that knows what his plan is for her. And if you got those three, you can find a woman for you. Now, nigga, you can't be at Walmart trying to get a Britney bundles, dog. It don't work that way. You guys got to be realistic.
Wait. What is a Britney bundle, bro?
Brittany Renner. I always the bundle of Brittany chick.
Oh, okay.
Brittany Renner is an Instagram chick that a lot of she's quite famous. You know what I'm saying?
Oh,
She's
okay.
quite famous, but a lot of guys want these Instagram type chicks like that, and that's not. You end up tricking on them, man. Like I said, the same woman that you got to take the Ruth Chris and Jay Alexander's 3 times on a date to have sex with is the same chick that's getting smashed out in a Grand Marquis with Black and Miles and some Parmesan. You know what
Yep.
I'm saying? The
Yep.
same chick.
The same for somebody else.
Exactly.
Yes, sir. Yes, sir. Let me do this real quick, man. While we're here, we got 305 people in the building, guys. Want to give some shout outs real quick before we continue on. Get the likes up, brothers, if you can. And if you are there in the chat, you want to comment city and state, I will do so if you subscribe to my brother, Professor Mgtow. So let me go ahead and try to drop the link for you, brother, and then we can continue on with the show. Just wanted to do this. And thank you for those people who will be watching in the restream audience. I do know that there will be some brothers on the restream that's going to come out. But do me a favor, guys. Subscribe to Professor Mgtow right there. I'm posting it under my Kinganda link. And subscribe to the bell. And if you do that and you subscribe to the bell, I will give you a shout out live on air today. So I'll give you guys some time Let me ask you this while we're waiting for that. How has been on YouTube creating content? How have you enjoyed the this small community so far?
I love it. You got different personalities and you got different levels of information, different types of information. But overall, in the Black manosphere, there is enough information for every Black man to be able to elevate himself into different situations. You got guys talking about IT, you got guys talking about coding, talking about trucking, talking about real estate. And we don't really have an avenue to be able to get this information, especially if you didn't have a father to tell you. You know what I'm saying? So I think it's a great environment for guys to be able to elevate themselves, man. And yeah, you got the fuckery, when you do the fuckery shows, but those are good too. It's entertainment. You know what I'm saying? As Blacks, we deal with a whole lot of stress. So yeah, we need a couple of fuckery episodes to be able to get our minds loose and laugh on stuff. But at the same time, there's a lot of information flowing. If you follow any of the top 10 pages that come on this panel, the most and your, of course, your channel, there is no reason why you don't have information that and a plan that will allow you to elevate yourself within a year. There is no excuses. If you guys want to sit around being entertained, then you do that. But there's a lot of education being passed around, and guys can be able to improve us. So I'm glad about that, and I think it's going to only get bigger and bigger.
All right, thank you, brother Carlton Pearl. What up, my brother, Native Negro, aka Arrange Nights. Nicholas Penn, thank you for the subscription. Shout out to Engineering Cannabis, brother. Had him. I did a really good show with him on the cannabis industry. Good to see you guys. Guys, make sure you subscribe to the brother right here, Professor Mgtow. Let me talk about this also, man, because a lot of brothers there's a hint that a lot of Black men are waking up and starting to understand that they can get into different things and that the juice is not really worth the squeeze. Do you think that with social media content creators like yourself and with these communities that Black men are kind of trying to work together and do different things and see how money works? Do you think that Black men will eventually come out of just wasteful spending, or do you think that it's going to continue?
I think as we begin to see examples of what Black men can do, because not only are we getting information, but you're seeing guys apply it. Like a lot of the channels I watch are travel channels. So let me give you an example. I see a guy, I think I told you about this the other day. I have a homie who's a travel nurse, right? And he works in California for 3 months out the year.
Right.
And the rest, he owns a home in Medellin. So because he can make $60,000 working in California as a nurse in 3 months, and because his place and his living expenses are so cheap in Colombia, he doesn't have to work those other 9 months. He can literally just work 3 months and save so much money compared to the average guy who works in California all year long and makes 100,000, but he's spending 80,000 on mortgage and food and all that other stuff. So when you see guys are actually doing that are actually showing you and living proof, it motivates you. You know what I'm saying? I'm a firefighter, and when I saw this guy's page, or not his page, his video of the one who did that, traveling as a travel nurse, that motivated me. So now I'm trying to get into nursing school, and I have a great career, but I'm trying to get into nursing school because I saw something that another brother did. And yeah, we talk about it, but when you actually see it, that motivated me. When I see you, O'Shea, and you're living abroad and you're traveling, that motivates me. When you see these guys in Brazil, one master teacher talking about all these different countries, that motivates you. A lot of guys that come on my page and my Instagram and say, "Fam, I got a passport now," based off what you said. Like, brothers are getting motivated based off what we're seeing. So they might not go a cool 100% full cold turkey on tricking, but at the same time, I think guys are starting to expand their horizons based off what they're seeing, the content that's being put out. And we're gonna have more. We're still gonna have tricking because that's part of the religion. But at the same time, we're gonna have more guys getting out there, more guys traveling, and more guys getting more experiences, more guys willing to connect and network, because we're also networking. Like, you're networking and meeting people all over the world that you probably would have never met in network if you didn't have your channel. Well, there's people who are meeting in your comments that they don't have a channel, but they're looking at other people in your comments, they're subscribing and they're hitting them up in the messages, and they're networking and meeting with each other. You know what I'm saying? So even if you don't see it on the front end, brothers are being affected, and brothers are making moves. So it can only go higher and it can only do better, man.
No, you're absolutely right. Let me go ahead and do this real quick. And shout out to the brother Saad from Norway. I remember seeing him in here. Let me go ahead. JR Andre, salute to you, brothers. Thank you for the $5 super chat. Now, you talk about another brother, man, just basically would cut down the expenses. You said this is a brother that's working in Texas or is working in New Mexico. And
Yeah.
he would come to, this ain't the first time I've heard this, but he will come and work in the United States. And then after a shift, he will cross back over the border and go live in Mexico. Is that what you're saying?
Oh yeah. I got, as a firefighter, I got a lot of homies that are in the fire departments and different places around the country and the world. But this one brother, you know what I'm saying, he lives in El Paso, and there's a border to Mexico. I think it's right on the border of Juarez, like maybe 5 minutes away from his department. So he's able to just, because you only work 1 day on and 2 days off. You're not working 5 days a week. So he goes to work, crosses the border. He might have to get up at 6 a.m, cross the border, go into work at 8. Then he get off the next day at 8 and goes right back to Mexico. And he has a wife over in Mexico, and his kids are Black and Mexican. And he has a house that's very cheap. Instead of paying $800 a month for like the other guys are, he's paying about $200, $300 a month. You know what I'm saying? His food is cheaper. Everything is cheaper because he's able to save. And you literally just going across the border. You can do the same thing with Canada and Buffalo. Like whenever there's a border, you're able to go somewhere and make more money and cut down your cost of living. If you guys that are in California, in Texas, you know what I'm saying, you have the opportunity to do this. You don't have to stay in this country. You know what I'm saying? You can work one place and you can live and make your home base another country. You know what I'm saying? It really is feasible. Even with some guys, we were talking about the nurse thing. When we talk about per diem, that's a whole nother game right there. When you're a per diem nurse, you get to set your schedule. Therefore, you can live somewhere else, man. You can have a home base outside of America and go back there. You guys right on the border of Mexico, it is possible. So you just have to expand your mind and be able to think about, what can I do to cut down the cost of my living? You know what I'm saying? What can I do? Sometimes you might have to get a girl, you might go get you a Mexican girl. So she has a house over there. So now you got a chick over there. You don't even have to pay for a house in Mexico. You know what I'm saying? You just got to think outside the box, because at the end of the day, there's a lot of white people doing it, but it just, I don't know, for some reason, Blacks just feel like certain things are beneath them. Give another example. In Florida, you see so many people from Canada coming over here to, on vacation and shit. Like Canadians are here 4, 5, 6 months. You ask yourself, how the hell can they take that much time off? The reason is because they're coming over here and getting trailers. They're not looking to buy super houses and 400,000 house. That white man come over from Canada, get him a $20,000 trailer park home or RV. You know what I'm saying? I know people that are nurses that live in RVs, tiny homes that can be moved around. And Blacks have this stigma, like, oh, I'm not going to stay in a trailer home or RV. Man, I know people that are making hella money living in RVs, stacking up. And it's mostly white folk, because they don't have that sort of stigma against it. For some reason, Blacks hate saving money.
No, that's definitely true. Shout out to brother Douglas Jones. Good evening, fellas. Checking in, showing love. My brother from Brooklyn. Shout out to Marcus Love O'Shea's the hardest working man on YouTube. I thank you so much, brother, for the super chat. Let me ask you this. Did you, to have the frame of mind that you have, because some brothers out there might be used to, blowing all their money on certain things or not investing. Like, what did you read any particular book or gain any type of knowledge to change your lifestyle to where it is now?
Fam, this is what we were talking about before. YouTube. It was man, bro. Even your videos when you were going around in Poland and stuff, that motivates me. You're a living example of this. You're living outside the country. You're doing what you got to do, but you're not living there. That's motivation to me. So then I have to look at, okay, how can I get myself in a position? This is what I asked myself when I seen brothers like yourself and other brothers that are living abroad, how I want to be living abroad. I said, am I going to sit here and be a firefighter in the same state for 20 years and then retire, because that was my plan, and then travel around the world when I retire. But now I'm thinking, you know what? Life is too short.
Mm-hmm.
Let me get a career that allows me to live the lifestyle. I don't want to wait and be just travel, get this expensive that pays a lot of money, but I have to work here all the time and I can't take breaks off and I can't vacation, or I got to wait till I retire to vacation. Nah, man, that's old school. Now I got to find something that allows me to live the lifestyle I want. You got guys that are being trainers, that are
Mm-hmm.
working in Colombia as trainers. You got guys that are chefs working in Europe. You got guys that are nurses that are doing. The one guy I follow, he's a nurse practitioner, a white guy. He
Mm-hmm.
did 3 months in London, 3 months in Switzerland, 3 months in Ireland, 3 months in Alaska. And then, that's his type of thing. He does that, but he's getting paid. They're paying for his housing. So
Mm-hmm.
he just looks at, because he's a travel nurse, he just looks at where he wants to vacation at, and then he picks a nursing gig over there. You know what I'm saying? So they pay for your housing, you're getting hella money, and you're pretty much vacationing and setting your hours while you're over there. So it's just, you have to look at the lifestyle you want, what I call the picture on the wall. How do you want to live when you're 50 years old?
Right.
Now look at how is it possible to live that now? And you might have to change your career. You might have to sacrifice. You might be in a career making 80,000, but you might have to go back to school and get a career to go back to school for 3 more years to get a career that costs you 60,000. But
Mm-hmm.
ultimately, you have to live the life you want. You have to be reasonable. You know what I'm saying? You might not have to go to school. There's guys, like I said, that are trainers that are in Colombia living a hell of a life. 22-year-old man out here running through women, just training, doing the same thing you do in America, just with a cheaper standard of living. So YouTube, and if I'm on my fourth passport, I've always traveled, but my mindset was, okay, I'll travel once a year, and when I retire, then I'll live abroad. But I see too many young people who are living abroad now for me to continue to do that. And I'll be cheating myself if I don't make the sacrifice to make it happen. And I think guys got to look at it that way.
No, man, you're absolutely right. Shout out to brother Eric Carter for the $1.99 super chat, brother Mr. RJ Rochelle. Shout out to brother Texas. Um, what other points, man? I don't know if you had anything else that you want to talk about. Shout out to Texas Nerd Practitioner. He says, I'm a nerd practitioner. Get it to nerds, the best thing ever made. Thank you, brother, for just comment. Whatever, great. Any other information, brother, that maybe I haven't added that you want to add right now? Or
Yes, if it comes down to, what I'm saying, like I said before, everybody has their own painting on the wall, man. You have a lot of resources here, bro. It was pages like yours that allow me to, just say, I got to change my mind up. Red Pill Chauvinist, he's another one, man. He does these travel blogs. He made me think, damn, I got to change my mind up. At the end of the day, guys, I think mindset is the first thing. And for some reason, we seem to think that, I hear a lot of times, oh, we can't go there because they're racist. Well, we got to get out of that mindset, guys, because America is one of the most racist places on the planet. There's different types of racism. You know what I'm saying? If I go to UK, it's going to be racist. Trust me. But the cops don't even have guns there. There's only a special brigade with guns. So the chance of me getting shot by a cop is probably cut in 90% based off what the chances are in America. So there's different types of racism, and we have to be realistic with that. Yeah, you racism over here, but in America, you get shot, whereas those cops don't even have guns. They got only 2% of cop shootings happen compared to what's in America. So ultimately, I would say, guys, just structure your life. Think about how you want to live your life and put a plan towards it. You don't necessarily need a financial advisor. You just have to be real with yourself and say, look, this is the lifestyle I want to live. If you want, some of you guys, you're a single guy. I have friends like this. They're single, no kids, no wife, and they're living in homes that are 3-2s. You know what I'm saying? 2,000 square feet. But then you got the other guys that are single and they're the same age and they're just renting a room. They got a roommate. There's nothing wrong with that. We got to get out of this mindset of as soon as we leave the home and as soon as we graduate, we go buy our own home and stuff like that and take on a mortgage and all that. There's nothing wrong with saving money, man. Never let anybody look at your situation and say, you know what? You living at a lower standard if you making money, fam. Like there's nothing wrong with driving a hoopty if you can get around and you get into the money, you're saving your money. You know what I'm saying? And anybody who makes you feel that way, cut their ass off, because that's nigga economics. And we got a bunch of niggas out here and we don't need anybody else being on a nigga economic plan, like for real. But that's one of the huge ones. Let me give some game on the education. This was in my Red
Yeah,
Pill
go ahead.
college. Um, First, I say guys who do trade schools and all that. But here's a little thing: some schools, if you want to go to college, some schools in Europe, they pay for you pay by the program. So, for example, with the University of Netherlands or Amsterdam, if you want to do engineering, you pay for the engineering program. So it might cost you $12,000 to get that degree because you're only paying for the program. Whereas if you go to University of Miami to get your engineering degree, you're paying for the year. So you're paying $35,000 per year compared to just paying for the program and the other fees associated with it. So a lot of times we look at white people and say, oh, they went to school abroad, they went to school in Italy, this and that. And you think it's expensive, but in reality, it's cheaper. And there's some places where you can go to school for free, but in order for you to go to school for free, you might have to have citizenship there. You might have to have a student visa there, and you might have to do certain things to get those. You might be able to buy property and hold on to property. So let's say if University of Miami is $40,000 a year to do a law program, and there's a school in Germany where you can go for free if you're a citizen, or you have that a certain type of visa, it might behoove of you to buy property in that place. You know what I'm saying? Learn the language, stay there for 2 years, and then you'll get your free education. So there's different ways around it. Like, we can go to school internationally. This is another way of cutting costs because guys are going to school. You get a lot of Africans going to school internationally, and they're not paying nowhere near what you're paying in America. They're not. Like I said, you can go to Amsterdam University and pay for the program, $12,000. That's it. If it take you 2-3 years, okay, you pay your little fees here and there, but you're not paying per year. So if you don't want to go the trade route, think outside the box, guys. You're not just an American, you are a global citizen. You know what I'm saying? You need to think global. That's the one thing that would have changed for me. I had a college scholarship for football, and I still would have gave that up to go to college internationally had I had the opportunity, had I had the mindset I have now. So I just want guys to be able to think about, firstly, the mindset of not competing in America. And this whole keeping up with the Jones thing. This whole, we got to build in America. You can build outside of America. You can be making $30,000 in America and investing in Ghana or investing in other countries. You know what I'm saying? You don't necessarily have to invest in America. There's other ways to do it because the same person that's making 50 in America might be going back home to Mexico and building an empire based off his 50,000. Empires are built all over the world, not just in America, gentlemen.
All right. You still there? Can you hear me?
Yeah, I'm here.
All right, fam. So, man, it was a hell of a show, bro. You dropped a lot of game. Let me do this, man. How many people need to subscribe to Professor Mgtow? And let me go ahead and shout out to my brother, man, the Black Trumpeter, a very, very talented musician, man. Go check him out. The Black Trumpeter, man. He's a trumpet player. He has a really, really, really good channel. Really, really talented guy. I would really, really want to collab with that brother. Been a fan of his channel for a minute. So shout out to him. Shout out to Jesse, the gentleman. Save your money so your money can save you. Thank you, my brother.
I like that.
Yeah, that was actually a good one. My brother Native Nigga said I have an $80,000 vehicle I should have left on the lot. Damn, boy.
Wow.
Yeah, so shout out to Dollar Wash that's in the building. Guys, we're gonna go ahead on in about an hour and get over to the Sunday Rumble. So we'll be live over there after that. And my brother Marcus Lester, he's speaking on my Ghana plan now. Let's talk about this. We were talking a little bit about my Kingana channel. And you're talking about the Africa, you have a sister that's Senegalese, and you're talking about how black men can stop tricking over in America and look for other places like Africa. What's your whole thoughts of, brothers cutting down their expenses so they can make an international move like on the continent because the continent is, really growing and stuff like that?
Whether you're talking about building and moving or tricking, it's still better. Like I got homies that they say they don't pull out their dick in America. They go out and they go to Colombia, and that's the only time they date. I got guys that have relationships outside of the country, so the only time they might have sex is when they leave the country. But you got to think about it. You're able to do so much more. You're able to save. If I'm in South Florida, to buy 2,000. To buy 2 acres may cost you 20,000, 50,000, 100,000, depending on where you are. If you buy 2 acres in certain places of Africa, you go to Ghana. Ghana's popping right now. You know what I'm saying? There's a lot of African Americans over there that already believe in their footmarks. If you go to Ghana, hell, 2 acres might cost you 2,000. You know, so ultimately you look at what you want to do, and there's a place for you, because at the end of the day, real estate is the business. You know why McDonald's is so successful? Because McDonald's is not just a place that has fast food. McDonald's main business is real estate, not fast food. McDonald's is real estate. That's where they make their money at, not fast food. They are set up strategically in key points all over the world. And if they have to close down a McDonald's and sell it, they are always on strategic landmines as far as property goes. So you got to understand that it's two hustles. You have the land, where you're getting it, and then what you're going to do on top of it. But like I said before, McDonald's is not a food place. They are a real estate place, because they buy strategic land all over the world. My auntie and some of her cousins, sisters, this is my sister's side. Like I said, they just brought a couple acres and right near an airport. You know what I'm saying? And now that's a parking lot. They don't have to do anything to it. It's just a flat slab and one little person working at a booth. But it's a parking lot now, you know, and you make hella money with zero overhead. Zero overhead, guys. And they don't live in Senegal. You know, so they just have one person over there working it. But it's as simple as that. You can buy land and hold on to it in other places, man. It's you know, that's land is one of the best things to purchase, especially if you have some type of idea or inside information that it's going to be built on in a couple of years. You know, look at what's going on. Look at how the world's shaping. You know what I'm saying? Right now, if you have money, look how Venezuela is getting destroyed. Right now would be the time to go buy up Venezuela, because you know it's not going to stay down forever. If you got 50,000 to spend, you want to buy one little property in America, or you want to go to Venezuela and buy up blocks, because eventually it's got to come back up. You know, so this is how you got to think with it, man. You know, even if you're inside, if I live in Miami, I don't have to spend 100,000 on a property in Miami. I can go to a place where, we know, when Detroit was on the downside, where when Southside Chicago, when Chirac, when all that stuff, that was just a money, the beginning process of gentrification. So, you know, when Chirac was all over the news and people are moving out, what do you think white folks were doing? What do you think foreigners were doing? People living in other countries saying, hell, let me go buy up all these blocks, because sooner or later it's going to be gentrified.
Right. No, that's real, man. That's definitely the truth, brother. Shout out to my brother Native Negro, man. He dropped something in the PayPal. Thank you, my brother. That's AKA Rain Knights. I appreciate you, brother. Guys, thank you so much, man, for being over here. I'm gonna let my brother say, you know, I'm gonna put his link there. Any last words you got to say, brother, before we go ahead and close it out?
And thanks for having me on, man. I think this was you know, you're on fire today. That last topic you had with the last brother, that was on fire, and I felt like it led into this one. It's a bunch of information, man. You're really out here motivating brothers and giving them information. Like, don't just think of yourself as a YouTuber, fam. You are doing more than some of our biggest leaders that are known worldwide, because you're changing the mind. You know what I'm saying? And you guys don't just be up here taking in information and laughing and this and that. This is a lot of information to change your life. If you just look on this page alone and then scroll through videos, business videos, and you should be able to have something to be able to increase your standard of living, man. We got to get serious. Nobody's going to save us but ourselves. You know what I'm saying? Don't be like Jehovah's Witnesses and leave it all to Jesus. Nobody's going to save us but ourselves. Black men, the black woman is going to get saved because they got simps all over, but nobody's going to save you but yourself. So when you realize that, you put your your hard hat on, you dig your feet in the ground, and you get to work. And you're not just an American, you are a global citizen. Don't be afraid to get out there.
All right. Now, thank you so much, brother. I really appreciate it. And shout out to my brother, man, K Vlogging Channel. Much love. Hashtag Mo2. We're going to have the Hall of Game tomorrow, guys. And the topic is, should I use a white face in front of a black business? So we're gonna talk about that tomorrow night with my brother Gabe. Hey, we're gonna go into the Rumble. So thanks again, brother. You're very talented, man. You came over here. You really shut it down. Shout out to Blackest Night. I'm actually in your stuff. I finally made it to London, man. So shout out to you, my brother, man. Thank you for coming on. And if you have time to get on the Rumble tonight, I'll definitely send you a link. And guys, go subscribe to Professor Mgtow. There's a lot of good content. The brother's very, very, very intelligent, very talented. And go support our brothers, man, because we have a lot of guys that are coming in new to the space that have a lot of contributions. Shouts to my man Afi Kingdom. You got Grown Man Business. A lot of new brothers out there, man. That's really doing that. So I really appreciate you, brother, for coming on, and see you guys in about 45 minutes on the Rumble, brother. Peace.
Peace.